So go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Doom, or sorry. I'm Doomed. I'm a DPS player for Shigami.
What were your expectations of the team joining Season 1 of FACEIT League Masters Division?
I think that a lot of us thought we would place around the 10th and 12th range.
We were just taking a match at a time.
I think my expectations were actually kind of low. Honestly, I didn't think we would make top 8.
When I joined, I didn't really know like what to expect really. The reputation of like the team is kind of like bad, but like I didn't expect us to like make top 8. But like, more scrim, like I realized it's just a good team.
Kind of be an underdog and get some upsets.
Honestly, the expectation was to be competing for like 8th. Realistically, most people would probably put us a bit below that. It was a goal that was very in sight and very achievable.
Initially, just to avoid relegation, just good, consistent practice.
I guess realistic in the moment. 10th, maybe 11th.
Our position on the standings right now is like entirely different than what I was expecting.
Yeah, I think my expectation maybe like top 6.
Kind of finish mid-table, waiting for top 8 potentially.
What were some big issues you faced during the regular season, and how did the team overcome them?
Keeping like confidence up, I'd be competing against like tier 1 teams. So really to overcome that, I kind of just worked on improving myself in like scrims and in our matches.
I had to deal with not playing as much because of the meta. Just trying to find a way to be useful to the team without like feeling kind of useless. So I think for me, like kind of like helping players out with like watching certain POVs throughout the game, warming up the team, filling in maps wherever I can.
Maybe not necessarily me, but I think a lot of the other players are rookies. But I think at first it was hard to like not get nervous when we played against people that we had heard of or thought were better than us or good. Like we realized that we could beat basically anyone if we really like don't get nervous and focus.
You know, when you lose scrims for like multiple days in a row and everyone's spirits are down, I think the only way we got through it was we had horrible scrims, we would lose, and then we came to match day and we just smashed it. That cheered us up. I don't know if that's like good advice, but if you lose scrims, just win the match.
But there's a lot less breaks, games every single week, so adjusting to that pace has been a little bit of a struggle. Now I started taking care of myself more like outside of the game.
Well, initially, Vintage, who was on our team to start, like broke his wrist, so he couldn't play anymore. So, I mean, originally we had 3 hit scan players because we just didn't like any of the flex DPS options. We ended up getting Doomed, so having someone who can actually really play those flex DPS heroes, because Doom's an amazing player. So she'd show up one time, but that's another story.
Like at the start of the season, we were expected to roll out with 2 players who both played the Sojourn, but we overcame them by not only picking up Doomed, which has also been a massive help. We just became more flexible overall with good coaching and a big roster pickup.
We had 3 hit scans, and then Vintage's wrist broke. We needed to adjust the roster a little bit to have a flex DPS, and Vintage needed to like recover and actually like get his form back now that he like had healed after his wrist broke. So moving him to Hikari was a really easy solution.
First of all, like Doom is an incredible player who have like a good hero pool. Like he is a flex DPS player with like good flexibility on like a lot of hero, which like actually make a cover our like shortage for a lot.
I think the roster changes were very good and much needed in areas where we needed to strengthen, but we'd also lost players, so I think we were quick and efficient about it, and we got the player we wanted, and I think we've improved from it a lot.
Okay, what was the most memorable moment during the regular season for you?
Our 2-0 win versus Shock. That's a pretty big upset. I remember I was streaming for that one, so I was really hyped.
Once we beat Punk Inc. Early on when they were still good, I swapped from Sig to Ram on this one choke point, and it just won us the match. It was a rare smart play from me. So
probably beating Shock. I think that was a big deal for us. It should everyone else that like we're here. Like, look at us, we can compete.
To be NRG, but yeah, we pulled it through and it was a team effort.
Did I play Bastion? I did play Bastion versus Citrus. Because they subbed RPN and then they lost.
The biggest is definitely beating Shock. Because I don't think a single person would ever expect Shikigami to beat Shock.
The Fluffy Aimers game, because I dominated that game.
Playing against Avidity, I got to show out a little bit.
First week of FACEIT League, we played Inc. We had just lost to them in OBCS. I just remembered like the final fight on Hollywood, there was like a really intense plan that Aspect made in the middle of the moment. And like the energy in that moment was crazy.
Probably 2-0 against Shock because. Oh, it's also like our first time actually like beating them, beating a really good famous team.
Was catching my manager slacking in scrim chats.
Is there any tips for players looking to compete in FACEIT League?
I think FACEIT League's super good and super healthy for the scene. Just sign up and get any sort of experience you can. Playing in like the daily FACEIT tournaments or the weekly ones that they have on weekends.
Honestly, I would more just like prepare yourself. Maybe like don't play tank.
Yeah, stick to it. A lot of the time, you'll get through teams that like maybe don't work or things don't always go as well as you'd hope, and teams will move on. But as long as you work on yourself and keep grinding, you'll make it somewhere.
Try like VOD your own gameplay or like just look at like players better than you. Like you learn a lot from them.
Do VODs with like whoever your partner is in your team comp. I think every role in this game, like you need a second opinion to, you know, really come up with the right call.
Honestly, just give it a shot and play in as many turns as you can. Figuring out how to function well on tournament day and keeping consistency with that is going to be like your biggest help as a player with how many officials are going on.
Any tips? Okay, most important thing about lower level Overwatch. Find and build a good team and stick with it. Don't team jump. Find a good consistent 4 players and just play with them. Make sure you guys all are aligned with the same goals and just keep working on that stuff and just keep playing together. And I promise it will yield improvement. The problem with 90% of teams blow up after one tournament. That's the big problem. So if you just get a consistent team of players and just keep playing together, I think you'll see a lot of improvement.
Just keep playing.
If you're not in FACEIT League right now, you're probably missing out. So if you're actually wanting to improve and you want to get good, play in FACEIT League.
Have a heart, trying to improve yourself. Be better like every day, I guess.
How do you feel now going into playoffs, and what is your biggest goal?
It feels really good going into playoffs. We're kind of like again at that level where, more realistically, I'd just like to get another upset win. I think going into these playoffs, a lot of people have us going out 0-2. So I'm just looking to prove some more people wrong.
You know, tomorrow I gotta make sure I have snacks prepared. I think a lot of it is just having confidence in, you know, playing our game and not like letting teams phase us. Because like, you know, 2 months ago we would get 3-0 and shit on.
I'd like to win at least one match. I think it's going to be very hard, but I would love to have a big upset there. I think that'd be a huge deal if we could upset a team like MAD.
I feel pretty confident. Like I feel like we could beat anyone. To be honest, I hope we beat like at least 2 teams. I feel like we beat NRG again. We play like how we did last time, and like FMCO too. We just like clean it up and play better.
I guess the only goal is to just prove everyone wrong.
The goal, considering our bracket, I think, is to get at least 1 series win. We've been in a top 8 bracket before, and we kind of got rolled over.
A lot of teams have us kind of like on the radar, but they're worried about us. But I think they should be. I think we really can beat almost all of the teams here at playoffs.
This bracket, although very stacked, isn't unbeatable. And I think our biggest goal right now is to beat whoever's in front of us.